I will put enmity between you and the woman, between your seed and her seed. He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel."
In today's video, we will examine one word, enmity. But what exactly is it? This word basically means war or conflict between two opposing forces. In this case, it applies to an ongoing spiritual battle, and this battle has been raging for thousands of years. Let's go ahead and set the stage. In Genesis chapter 3, we find that Eve, Adam's wife, was confronted by a serpent in the Garden of Eden. At this point, several questions can be raised. Who was the serpent? Why is it able to talk? Where did it come from in the first place? In order to find at least some of these answers, we need to let the Bible interpret itself. Let's turn to the book of Revelation chapter 12 and verse 9. "And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world." So the passage we just read helps us to understand the identity of the person who was speaking to Eve. We can come to the conclusion that it was actually Satan himself, and not a serpent, who was speaking to her. Perhaps Satan took the form of a serpent. Perhaps he was able to manipulate the serpent in such a way that it suddenly had the ability to pronounce words, considering the fact that serpents do not have vocal cords like humans do. One thing is certain. Satan achieved his objective. He attacked Eve with consistent lies, and it wasn't long before a series of doubts entered her mind. She might have gotten confused too. Who was telling the truth? God or Satan? And that is one of Satan's deadliest weapons, deception. If he can make us believe that God does not exist or that the Bible is not true, then he has already done his job. He knows his time is short, and he wants to take as many people with him as he can onto the path of destruction. The good news is that God has given mankind the tools to fight Satan. One of them is his word, the Bible. A great defensive tool is faith. There are several other things we have at our disposal, and all of them can be found in the book of Ephesians chapter 6. This chapter sums up our offensive and defensive mechanisms in just a few words: the armor of God. As I mentioned before, this spiritual battle has been raging for thousands of years. According to Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual wickedness in the heavenly places." This is a battle that cannot be seen in the material world, but we can certainly see its effects in the form of civil unrest, financial turmoil, political corruption, natural disasters, and so forth. Of course, even though all of this is going on, God is still God, and he does not change. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. The time will come when he will purify this planet, set up his kingdom on earth, and rule from henceforth.